So, I'm gonna begin recording this rolling. So, last time we were very rudely interrupted by my fucking technical problems, which I was pissed about. And I know there was a scene that Benjamin swings by, he does stuff with the crystals and souls, and then you started talking about variety of different topics, and I know we are discussing, but I kind of forgot the exact topic. So probably it will be thing for you guys, like to Shao and Xantis, like if you want to like talk with him some more. So Asin, do you want to continue the scene if you have something to talk about, or not really? Okay, I think I realized. I think there was like he
I'm
was
good.
getting to the topic of War in Heaven, but it's up to you if you want to play it as a scene or not.
Last I remember, it was last thing I remember them doing was they were talking about Xanthus being open to the idea of himself having a soulstone type thing. That's the last thing I remember happening.
Yeah, it was also this, but I think there was some discussion about War in Heaven, maybe. But
I
yeah,
remember it being brought up.
It's up to you guys. How do you want this scene to like continue to go on? The ball is on your side of the court, so to speak.
I recall they talked a bit about the War in Heaven and all that good stuff. Talked about how the orcs were made, the Eldar were uplifted, all that good stuff. How Slaanesh came to be. Like, the result of a giant murder orgy.
Sustained over centuries.
Getting a soulstone, maybe. Don't recall. I feel like there was something that Xanthus wanted to ask him that was kind of important-ish, but I don't recall what it was. Well, not important, but like just kind of curious about it. Did he ask him about Maribus?
He did. Yeah, I recall that there was a question, and I think the answer was... Oh my god, do I remember it? I think it was something either along the way that it's Malal now, and it's kinda hard to figure, like he's amassing forces, because he's kinda both against the Imperial movement, like he's essentially against everyone, including the Chaos Girls. Because he feels that they are not too chaotic for them, and he kinda wants to, he's drunk with power. But I will also add this thing, and I'm not gonna hide, like, this is a DM's decision to basically not make Benjamin self-solving puzzle and walking knowledge of everything. He would probably mention that one, he was kinda busy with other stuff, so he wasn't keeping track of Marabas, and second, probably even if you wanted, it would be kinda hard or impossible, because apparently for some reason, one way or another, Marabas is kinda like hidden from him. Not hidden as in stealthy, but it's like, you know, like jamming, or like imagine the way he tracks people, things, is like a satellite image. So for Marabas, this satellite image is like completely static. That's the best analogy I could come up with. Which, considering the Marabas got a lot of his power from the overload and explosion of Blackstone Heart, the same even that turned Benjamin, or not turned, but kinda ascend Benjamin into what he is now, makes sense. There's some connection in there. But yeah, I'm done in that, so please go on.
Then What of Zinch? Does
What
he
what
have
of him?
some sort of... How is he taking Maribus's transformation?
Like, actually Benjamin gives a small chuckle and shrugs. That might be the closest, most accurate depiction of his reaction, but who knows, it's a god of change. But, if there's anything that I have learned about the Dark Gods, the stuff that I had to endure, bathe in their insanity and after years and years to come out from with it, with, well, more or less intact, well, enough intact that I can have conversation with you. There's one scary thing that you have to consider when regarding Singe. He has no end goal. After all, end goal means that at some point the end changes, and he can have that. There's always needs to be change.
Something. I'm basically asking questions, trying to get back to a question I meant to ask him. But I don't remember what it was. Out of curiosity... Again, I don't even know how to get this one. I hope you don't mind that I had to partially throw you under the starship with regards to the Sororitas.
This one, it's fine. Like, he says that he really means it, like, he doesn't give a damn. Like, he feels sororitas are not a problem for him. Really,
I figured.
There's rarely anything that Imperium of Men gives him a scare. Basically, the Imperium of Men is not a scary faction for him.
Speaking of factions, how are the Eldar holding up? And Moriana?
Well, Moriana is, well, doing quite nice. Very nice, I would say, but yeah. As they say, gentleman doesn't kiss and tell. Kinda old Terran saying. I don't want her to be. I mean, I don't really care, but I mean, she kinda suffers enough. She can have some happiness.
I feel like there are...
As for the Eldar, they're... You know, some are still believing in ritualistic suicide to bring their god of death, and some, well, are considering the alternative. Seventh path, they call it. Kinda gather some sort of ancient Eldar artifacts, you know, the swords from their original empire, you know, the planets that were engulfed in Eye of Terror. There are some crown swords of Meds or something. One of their... named after one of their gods. It wasn't Cain. Yeah, it wasn't him. It was the other one, which I cannot really recollect right now. But yeah, ancient, powerful stuff, and apparently if you gather all of it, you can do some wacky, magical mumbo-jumbo, Eldari mumbo-jumbo that will, you know, bring the Ineat to bring some judgment upon Slanesh. But I guess they are holding up. Long story short.
Well, that's most of the questions I can think of.
I'm like, cool! Thumbs up, and he looks just for a second at Zhao. Gabriel. Gabriel.
Oh, I was muted. Sorry. No questions.
Great. So, play nice. Try not to get yourself killed, because I might be busy if that happens. So I might be late. But, hey, hope for the best, right? And then he like gives thumbs up and then puffs away. Yeah, he left.
Well. Nice. Some wine?
Yes, of course. Oh,
Okay.
Interesting.
Unless you want to, do you want to like talk about something between the two of you, like continue the scene, or can we cut it here? Just that you are just enjoying wine and doing nothing specific.
I don't know if there's anything else to discuss explicitly.
Out of curiosity, out of character, did we happen to get a lead on... I don't remember if we got a lead on Sydow.
Trust me, we'll be getting to that. Not directly, but Sigmund will kind of... That's the like scene I wanted to do with Sigmund, as he will arrive at Leyfords to meet with Castellar. Their discussion will kind of also include Sydow. There will be a lead for him, I can say right now.
Alright, then in that case, it is time to make with all speed to the Lathe Worlds.
Well, Sigmund should be quite pleased.
I think it was, definitely during the briefing with Caden, he said that, to Sigmund specifically, that his presence was required by Castellar on Leyfords. So what will happen is that
No, go ahead.
you might, you will be able to, like fly to that planet and dock, but like straight up they will say to you that only Sigmund is like invited to a meeting. That there are matters to discuss that are only the members of the Adeptus Mechanicus are not privileged but allowed to hear. Yeah. Basically they give you something along those lines, and they really won't take like you trying to barge in for an answer for some reason.
Well, the Inquisition has no jurisdiction on Mechanicus World. So. Very little jurisdiction.
Some people argue more, some people argue less.
Yeah, if you will just accept that in a stride,
yep,
then I will.
He will.
I mean, yeah. Then we can just switch to the scene where Sigmund sits in a... I have honestly no fucking idea how the typical room for Adeptus Mechanicus would look like, because he is after all like high-ranking member, so technically he would have his own room to like place for all the data slates, cogitators, and just like shit ton of machinery that's constantly working on well, the usual stuff for Adeptus Mechanicus, or in this case going through data slates, assorted knowledge, I mean information coming from all the sector, and the papers. Yeah, they probably won't be using like just papers as the most basic medium for knowledge. In their cases, data slate. Of course, not in the inside, but on the outside, on the very ornate, like solid-looking door which obviously I don't need to mention that on these doors, on the walls, and in the room itself, there are many symbols of machine god. It's kind of obvious that they are not hiding it. So yeah, this world is a proud world of Omnisaya. And the Castellar himself, you will see that he will turn around to you while finishing, not really finishing job, but like some of the mechadendrites that are not directly connected to him, and they are continue working, and you imagine that he is controlling them remotely.
Mm-hmm.
So you will see that obviously he has, the robes of Adeptus Mechanicus, a charm, but also you will, I think you are skilled and rank high enough to know that he has Opus Machina, the greater icon of passage.
Mm-hmm.
You know the item, yeah?
Repeat it.
You know this item out of character?
I couldn't understand.
The Opus Machina.
Opus Machina, the greater icon of passage.
Yes. Opus. Okay.
Your what is it? Omniscient Rod counts as one.
Yeah. I just didn't hear. I heard Machina. I didn't hear the.
Yeah. It's cool. And what's your official name as the Adeptus Mechanicus member? Because he would call you by your official name, not Sigmund 213. So obviously when he's talking, it's like
my cask, my planet, and my designation.
Yeah. Obviously, like, do not mention it every time, unless his tone will change. He speaks as the usual member of Atmec, because in binary then it's only like TTT, so it's like really impossible to say, to feel his emotions. So he's very direct and to the point. Venator Head 214, welcome, Sid. And you see that in front of the large desk, like the Adeptus Mechanicus equivalent of a desk.
Yeah.
There's two chairs, and I imagine you will sit in one of them.
Yes.
Venator, there's a certain matter that I require your presence here. Then he pauses for a moment. Actually, two certain matters. First one, and then he takes one of the data slates and puts it on a actually data slate and pic recorder, basically media storages. So he puts them in front of you, and on them you see on one hand confidential top secret reports from other Adeptus Mechanicus members, also high ranking, but on station lower. So from Magi, that's the plural name for Magos.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. And stuff like that. And on the other, you will see video recordings of subjects or specimens that are exhibiting the the thing that you already witness once or twice. And through all of it, and those reports also mention that the number of warring, potential heretical incidents is rising within the ranks of Adeptus Mechanicus. The investigation into the cause is still underway, stuff like that. From the looks of the reports, they don't exactly have an idea why it is happening, and there are even some reports that, they did ask, Astra Telepathica or other high-ranking, very powerful psychers, and not any one of them could feel anything. So Castellar just gives you a few moments for you to just soak in the knowledge, and then he says, Venator, were you Fuck, how would he say that? Venator, are you familiar with this incident?
Is he referring to specifically the one that was on my ship, or?
In general.
Okay. I was aware of one of them, yes. I was notified of potential heresy on the vessel I'm stationed on. I had the individuals detained and handed over to people more capable to deal with them.
Was the nature of this incident similar or same with those presented in those reports, or was
out of character? It was, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Okay, he takes a moment before, like, he takes the documents. There's a moment of pause. Venator, do you have? I know that the Skitarii are the main military branch of the Adeptus Mechanicus, faithfully serving in the name of Omnissiah. Alas, I believe I might as well ask you, do you have any theories what's the source of this brewing heresy?
He rolled like an 80 on the roll to identify it. So no, to him it's just misguided idolatry.
I mean, yeah, in character you can say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, just out of character, like, sorry if I'm role-playing Adeptus Mechanicus member differently
No, that's
than
fine.
you would
That's fine.
expect. I kind of want them to be slightly less than emotionless, completely like not
It's fine.
beep boop boop 0101. Anyways, you know what? You can give me a scrutiny for reading. Fuck. My question is, what's the skill for reading somebody's thoughts, like reading off from his body language or facial expression, like wondering what he
wouldn't have any body language or facial expressions is the thing.
Okay, so maybe some kind of role that would, like, you know, like intuition feel, like what your intuition would tell you or something like that.
It would be scrutiny, pretty much.
Yeah. So you can roll scrutiny, but
I don't know if
in your
Sigmund
case,
has largest profit sizing.
I mean, in case
So
of
that would actually be plus. I would have gotten that by 0.5, not by negative 0.5.
Yeah, I'm just saying that for Adeptus Mechanicus members, scrutiny doesn't mean that they see change in expression. It's just they have their own way of figuring
interpreting subtle cues of like movement and
one beep sounds different than the other. Okay, so he goes quiet for a moment, and normally you would think that, yeah, he just, like, you know, processing and figuring out what to say next. But here, in this case, he wonders about something very, you know, groundbreaking. Like, he wonders if he should say something to you that will have rather solid repercussions, or not really. And then, unless he will, like, is Sigmund on,
He's
like,
not gonna. He's not gonna interrupt. No.
Yeah, waiting.
It's not
And
his
he
place.
gives out, like, you know, sound of a screeching tongue that resembles a sigh, and says, Venator, there is a potential theory regarding this incident, but I believe it's logical, and I don't need to state that this knowledge cannot exit the premises of this room. If it will, and he trails off. Do you understand, Venator?
Yes.
Very well. And then he goes, like, he doesn't say like you should stand or sit. He doesn't really care for a moment. Then he like, oh yeah, he wasn't really sitting. So he turns around, goes back to one of the, well, wardrobes or like, fuck. I'm missing a fucking word here. Like, not a wardrobe, because that's not where he keeps his... Oh, maybe safe. Like, Adeptus Mechanicus safe in a wall or something. Basically, you, even from a distance, you see that the security measures on that stuff is fucking impressive. It's like, even with your technological expertise, you don't think you would be able to crack it quickly, or even crack it at all. I mean, I imagine Castellar, this is like out of character, I imagine Castellar, if he's like, you know, maybe not collector, but if he knows how to get technology, then he might be rocking some dark age of technology stuff. Of course, only for himself, as a personal collection, but small stuff. Anyways, he takes at least a minute or two just disabling security measures, then cleaning up, taking another, like this time slightly larger slate, looking more exquisite, made from more solid material, and then he puts it between the two of you on a desk. And Venator, for confirmation, I will ask you if the following words have any meaning of you, or do you know anything about them? And then he lists off words, dragon, void dragon, Noctis Labyrinth, and yeah, that probably will be the last.
The void is the space in between planets, also called real space. And the labyrinth, let's see if he basically has to roll a 1 on this. He did not, so no.
Oh, and
nothing else.
And yeah, sorry, the last word I figured out would be Ktan.
Again, he has to roll basically a 1 on this. He did not.
Very well.
So yeah, void was the only one he recognized.
Yeah.
Void and dragon. See if he rolls well enough on legend. He might know what he might have a rough idea what a dragon is. An ancient mythical beast. Mythical creature, rather.
He gives a barely noticeable nod. Understandable. The knowledge is known for a very restricted group of people, but if my theories are correct, in some ways supported by hard data I've been gathering, then I believe I'm in full rights to inform you and explain, or rather reveal to you, one of the greatest secrets that the Adeptus Mechanicus has. And yeah, out of character, I don't know if you would agree, but yeah, my headcanon is that a guy leading the Leyfords would know about the Void Dragon.
Possible. Not unrealistic. Rather not impossible, I'd say.
He would know. Yeah, just not to prolong it and me just saying in character words for words, he basically lays down to you the existence of the Void Dragon under the Noctis Labyrinth, the existence of the Guardian of Dragon. He doesn't reveal to you the theory that basically the Adeptus Mechanicus was built upon him, as in... I read on Wiki or Lexicon that basically after Emperor defeated the dragon, basically Adeptus Mechanicus was created and they used some technology they managed to get off him. Stuff like that. He doesn't reveal that. Something along those lines. I don't remember the exact wording, but he doesn't reveal that. because that would be way too groundbreaking for you. But yeah, he reveals the existence of the Void Dragon theory, but he says it's a theory. He doesn't say it's confirmed that the Void Dragon might
So
be...
basically he's saying that there's a cult around the possible existence of a locked away monster underneath Mars.
Yeah, and he also like gives you that the dragon itself, it's not confirmed, but it might be Cthulhu. But the data gathered on this matter is not conclusive. And then, like, he obviously has more to say, but before he proceeds to that, he like pauses for a moment to eventually give you a chance to speak up.
No, he'll basically do what I did, confirm his understanding of what he was just told. There's a theory that there's some kind of, that the Omnissiah locked away some kind of, possibly locked away some kind of beast underneath Mars, and that some people worship it. Some people worship it.
Yeah, he actually, sorry, small change. He actually confirms that, yeah, the Void Dragon is real.
Okay.
And that it's safeguarded for, since, I think it was since, wait. But, not banishing, Emperor defeated the dragon earlier than in 13th millennium.
He did it hundreds and hundreds of years ago from right now where we are at in the 21st century. We're talking so it's based on the tale of, I think it's St. George and the Dragon.
So basically he defeated long ago that...
Oh yeah, it was incredibly long ago. Yeah.
It was during the Earth medieval times or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During the Crusaders. One of the Crusades.
Around 10th
or 11th century is what it's said.
Okay.
Oh no, wait. The veneration of St. George goes back all the way to 7th century.
I think it's, I don't really know when it's supposed to happen. It's somewhere between the 5th and 7th.
Yeah, it's incredibly old. It's incredibly old story.
Yeah, the Void Dragon is real since he was defeated by, banished by Omnissiah, he says in this way, like thousands years ago. And then, like, after a moment when you don't ask anything, and then he like lays down the reason why in the hell he informed you in the first place. Basically, he doesn't really say much, he just presents you with data, and the data states very clearly that the number of reports and reported incidents, similar to what you've witnessed, is rising. Obviously, because of communication problems, he only has the best... missing the word. He only knows... he knows about many, if not all of them, in Calixis sector, because, that's relatively close, so the information can go to him close. And technically, it's kind of his jurisdiction from Adeptus Mechanicus side. But there are also, like, few reports coming from different parts of the universe, from, his, perhaps, colleagues, friends on high places in Mechanicus, that they basically report the same. And in some cases, because in your case it was like, yeah, just guys, harmless guys who are just writing stuff. There are some reports that there are like beginning incidents when it goes beyond that. Like,